Done.
Welcome to One Day Talks by Tutor 10X, where real professionals share what a typical day in their role looks like, the skills they use, the challenges they face, and advice for those starting out. I'm your host, Sam Anawar, and today I'm joined by Dr. Mohammad Motahar, who's worked as a business process analyst on a contract with CSIRO. Dr. Mo, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start with your role. What does a business process analyst at CSIRO do?
That's a good question. Business process analyst is referring to someone who has the technology at the same time, a good understanding of how businesses operate, and the day normally start with various meetings with project stakeholders, depending on what type of processes you are tasked to analyze and to provide refinements, and it normally includes process mapping and some analysis around various systems that are being used, because these days business processes that organizations have has relations to various systems that employees need to interact with, to update data, to retrieve data or generate reports while they are working on a process. So it would require a little bit of system analysis as well, and it's about understanding how different teams work and finding gaps and providing suggestions for helping them in terms of having more efficient business processes.
Okay. Now, can you walk us through what a typical day looks like for you from start to finish?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me think for a while. Like a typical day that could potentially have, everything. Let's focus on my probably Tuesdays at work. So they were typically the busiest days. So mornings usually begin with stand-ups. And obviously daily stand-ups are with other team members. So as a business process analyst, you would be working, with other team members, maybe other business process analysts and system analysts. So just typical stand-ups like what have you done yesterday? What are you going to do today? Any challenges to share, which is pretty much standard Scrum methodology, and responding to some emails from different stakeholders, mainly around my Tuesdays would be around planning for the rest of the days in terms of whom I want to meet for which part of the project, and some sort of data analysis as well in relation to the processes that I have conducted interviews and collected data. And the midday is often spent working with the other team members. It's mainly around requirements. For example, we captured like customers' feedback around some enhancements around I would say the changes that has to be done, like a new situation. We refer to it as new situation, not current situation, as is situation, and to be or new situations, like getting more clarity around the current situations by sharing or for ideas with team members. And normally later in the afternoon, I focus on writing the reports, providing further updates, sometimes progress update for the management around where we are standing, what else is to be done, and to provide them with some updates around the project if it is needed. So yeah, that's how a typical day would look like.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Every job has its challenges. Now, what are the top skills that you rely on that are used daily in your role?
Okay, yes, always every job has like its challenges, and then we always have to rely on our top skills to be able to tackle all those challenges. That's definitely important for anyone who wants to be successful in their job. And I would say strong communication skills is number one skills that every business process analyst needs to focus on, because you get to meet different people from different industries. For example, in my case, it was like a um, climate change and terminologies that they use when I've been discussing with them about like the processes was initially very confusing, and you have to have very strong communication skills, do a little bit of study around that particular business domain. For example, if you are working as a business process analyst and you want to do, for example, process analysis for the process of, in my case, creating innovative data products with climate data, you have to be able to have effective communication with data scientists, climate data scientists, and often they are using like terms in a call that might confuse like business process analysts. So that's why other than the communication skills, domain knowledge is very important. Obviously, you can work across industries, but then obviously when you are switching the industries to another industries, to analyze business processes for different projects, you have to upskill yourself. There is no such training to be provided. It's all about you, pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and try to make yourself familiar with that, domain knowledge. And another skills that I would have to highlight is it's about obviously tools like business process analysts, just like any other I would say occupations. They would require to use various tools and technologies. I would say one of the oldest, maybe not the most popular one these days, is Microsoft Visio. I used to work with Microsoft Visio,
Yep.
since 2000. It's a great product to create visualizations, to visualize your processes, and obviously you have to have a solid understanding of business systems. You don't have to be so technical in everything, but then you should know how different business systems operate across departments. And the the last one that I would like to highlight is being able to translate, all those technical jargon for people who are non-technical. The non-technical stakeholders are always, engaged with you during your project, and you have to be able to translate those complex terms and stages in the process to simple words, easy to understand for them. So that's another important skills.
Yep. Yep. Right. So, what's a big challenge in your role, and how do you handle it?
Big challenge in my role. Um, Perhaps stakeholder management is one of the biggest challenges. So you have to deal with multiple stakeholders from different departments, and managing their expectations is a key. Obviously, we as a business analyst, we don't have the business process analyst, we don't have the luxury of like working, as for so long to understand everything and anything about that industry. And therefore, when we are tasked to analyze a process, we have a tight deadline. I think one of the challenges is that with a tight deadline, that is, in the project, you have a very, very limited time to be able to interact with stakeholders, and they often have extensive domain knowledge that you don't have. And obviously, being able to collect the requirements and understand how their processes work, the as-is process design, and to be able to analyze it and to provide to-be situation is always a challenge. And these sort of challenges, I normally handle it by number one, prioritizing it. So you've got to be able to do proper prioritization and documentation of the tasks. You should not skip any important steps in the process. Very clear documentation is always a key to the success, and paying attention to the details especially during the meeting when they highlight some of the challenges that they have, because processes, they do have like a straightforward, A to B a transition from one task to the other and from one person to the other. But then you should have your keen eyes to capture exceptions too. Like, what if, for example, the document is not like ready? What's the process look like in those situations? So you have to capture the straightforward scenario and also exceptions and how they handle it. Otherwise, when your current situation is not properly documented, whatever effort you put into creating the to-be situation will not be effective, because it may miss some of the steps that are like hidden in the requirements that you just simply didn't catch. And therefore, this is often a challenge, that you just design a new improved process, but then at the end, this improved business process is not really implementable. So they can't really implement that. And it's simply because you did not capture everything in details.
Okay, yeah. So what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out?
One piece of advice for anyone who wants to be successful to work as business process analyst. Well, I would say get comfortable with both the technical and the business side. So you have to understand all those systems and the integration between those systems and the data storage and all those key concepts, the technical concepts. But at the same time, you have to also get comfortable with the business side as well. So how they operate the business, and don't be obsessed with tools. At the end of the day, processes are part of every businesses. So they can migrate from one tool to the other, but you have to know exactly what the processes are like. And therefore, in order to do that, you have to know how, let's put it from top level, how businesses operate, and then how businesses in the particular industry operate, like how businesses operate, how businesses in particular industry, let's say healthcare, let's say data science, let's say climate data, how do they operate? And then understand like the people, the environment, the interactions, the technology around it, before you get into the details of processes, and then, diving deeper into the process steps. So my one piece of advice would be to get comfortable with both the technical and the business side, and try to be the translator, the bridge between between them, where we have opportunities to provide improvements in the business processes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, these are fantastic insights, Dr. Mo. Thanks for sharing your day as a business process analyst. And to our listeners, you can find more episodes on Spotify, YouTube, and tutortechnics.com. I'm Sam Anawar. See you next time on One Day Talks.
Thank you.
Okay, how was that?